Champions Cup awaits. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is LAFC Plus, episode 88. We are lucky and happy to be here. He is Mario Ruiz. I'm Dave Denholm. And we are getting closer and closer to not only Champions Cup, of course, but the MLS regular season just a couple of weeks away for LAFC as we do this show. Mario, I am pumped up. I know you are as well. Welcome, buddy.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, I've been watching CONCACAF Champions this week, and that has me gassed up and ready to go. LAFC still, of course, a couple weeks away before LAFC jump into the tournament for this year's CCC, but it's right around the corner. You can feel it. You feel the energy. 2026 is right around the corner for LAFC. Let's go, black and gold fans.
It really is, and it's here, essentially. LAFC, as we do this every couple of weeks in the offseason, do the show. LAFC are now in Coachella in the desert, getting ready for the match against NYCFC coming up on Sunday, February 8th. And, of course, that's all leading to Real CD España, which we'll talk more about in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, Mario, beginning Tuesday. And that's on the 17th. That game, we'll be carrying that game on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app. Can't wait for that. Super excited for that game against the Honduras.
You mentioned Coachella. Yeah, the guys just got there yesterday and today. Matter of fact, if you're watching this episode or tuning into this episode of LAFC Plus, they're probably just getting off of the golf course. I know they spent the whole day on the golf course today, and that's a really cool like team bonding type of moment there for the guys, especially because there are some new guys here, with LAFC. So for the guys to all hang out for a day on the golf course, and you can really get to know each other on the golf course, as you know, Dave. You're spending a lot of time together, hours on that course, and I think it's a really cool thing to go out there and do that, and then after today, it's just 2 hard days of training, getting some good training in Coachella, and then Sunday that match, that real match there, that preseason friendly against NYCFC. Always a good time in Coachella.
Oh man, you mentioned golf and playing with your teammates or friends. That's the only reason to play golf for me. I absolutely despise the game, but I love going out and playing with my friend, playing with my family, my friends. Oh, I'm so awful. I've always had this line, my golf game, my swing, I play snowflake golf.
Okay.
No two swings are ever alike. That's like the snowflake,
Of course.
No two swings are ever the same. I cannot master the game. It's dreadful. I hate golf.
Hate it and love it at the same time.
I don't mind going out and golfing. Yeah, I don't mind going golfing with my friends and love that, and my family. It's the only reason to do it for me, though. The game stinks.
I really do miss golfing. I mean, I love the game. It just takes so long of the day, and I really don't have that much time right now as I'm on the grind with everything going on LAFC-wise. But I definitely miss it. But for you, for the fans out there, if you cannot get out there to Coachella on Sunday for LAFC against NYCFC, you can catch this match this Sunday at noon on Fox 11 Plus or on the LAFC YouTube page. So make sure you tune in and check out the boys. It's going to be a nice Sunday right there, football, black and gold style.
Yeah, Real España. Let's turn our attention to that match coming up in Champions Cup, because obviously NYCFC, that'll be fun to watch just to see the team going at it. But more importantly, we got the CONCACAF Champions Cup first round against CD España, a team that we have a little bit of, it's kind of an interesting connection. Our old buddy Luis Lopez. That's going back. If you're kind of new to LAFC, you will have no idea who we're talking about in all likelihood. He's a Honduran national team goalkeeper. He was with LAFC in 2018, the inaugural season, and I remember it. He played one match for LAFC in MLS play, and it was he started in goal. He's the keeper for España, so we do have that part of our history there, although it wasn't a very long history for Luis. At the time, he was extremely young, kind of a goalkeeper we were keeping our eyes on, kind of bring him in as a super young kid. He's still young relatively, but that's this is our 9th season now, so he's been around. He's certainly got experience.
Yeah, that's true.
But at the time, he was a very young man and really talented, and wishing him all the best, except for in the 2 matches against LAFC, of course, one of them coming up on the 17th. they're a handful of games into their season. They're not like 15 games into their season, of course, but it just started we're in top flight. So they're a few matches in. They'll have 4 or 5, I think 5 or 6 under their belt by the time we play this game against them. And they're off to a good start. No surprise. One of the best teams, if not the best team, frankly, in Honduras. So it's a tough matchup, no doubt. You could have got an easier draw if you're LAFC, but you could have got maybe a little tougher, to be fair. It's just kind of one of those things. It's a pretty fair draw. Like, you just have to go out and win. And Mario, there's no easy task to that, though, in this competition, right?
Yeah,
it's like easy.
I think
favorite.
Yeah, I think many would consider LAFC the favorite, like you're saying, against a team like Real España. But these midweek matches in Central America are never easy, never like an automatic. So LAFC must hit the ground running. This is LAFC's first real match in 2026, and it definitely is a real match. You're into the CONCACAF Champions. You got to hit the ground running. They already are in rhythm, as you're saying. They have a few matches under their belt from their season, so they're ready to go. LAFC have to get ready real quick, and these Honduras teams, these South American teams, Central American teams are really going to be physical. They're going to be savvy. They're going to be, playing with the energy of their home environment. So that's going to be the test for LAFC, is going all the way out there on the road to Honduras in the midweek and really focusing on this game when they also know they have the season opener just a couple days away. So not an easy test, but it is, LAFC should be the favorite. I think rightfully so, but not an easy test.
Schedule could have been less favorable because at least that Miami game is in LA, right? And it's not technically at home, but it's right next door, the Coliseum, so it is at home. So it could have been worse. So you're going to Honduras. That's a tough trip, no doubt, to take on CD España at their place. But when you do come back, you got a quick turnaround, no doubt. But you are at home, and then immediately you're at home again against España. So for the second leg. So could have been worse that way, right? You could have maybe started at home with the 2 and then had to go on a quick turnaround down to Honduras. That's tough. That would be brutal. So a little bit easier that way in the sense of, I guess, travel and all that to start the season, though everybody's ready to go. They're all champing at the bit, I'm sure, to get out there. So it's not like anybody's going to be tired from any of this, but it's still nice to be able to have those 2 back-to-back home games ending with CD España on that second leg when you might, who knows? You might need a result there. Let's hope not. Let's hope you go down to Honduras and bury them on the road because remember in CONCACAF Champions Cup, road goals do count. The away goals are big, so you need that. And so let's go out and get a big victory. It's not going to be easy, as Mario said, but I expect LAFC, again, not only to be the favorite, they've always played pretty well in those situations, right? I mean, there's some minor bumps in the road, I guess. A loss to Alajuelense, but we won the series, we won the tie, but lost the match, if you will. That was one of the only teams that I think that year that beat LAFC at home, actually, was Alajuelense in a second leg where LAFC were kind of in control in Costa Rica, so it didn't matter as much. Let's hope that's the case for this. Of course, you have that Inter Miami game sandwiched in, which will begin the MLS campaign coming up on February 21st. So everything to look forward to there, Mario.
And it is a home and away, right? The home and away part is the battle, right? Of like, it's not just 90 minutes that you're playing against this team. It's 180 minutes, right? So you need to handle your business, I think, in those first 90, which is away in Honduras. And you got to come home in a good spot and feeling that you can finish them off, right? So handle business and advance to the next round is always the key in any way possible in these tournaments. Maybe, it might not be the prettiest, but just getting to the next round, advancing is the key. And you got to come out just ready to weather the storm there. I mean, that's the big key for me. Don't let anything rattle you, because these teams, CD España is going to come out here and try to, get you mad, get you off your game. You got to keep your cool. They're going to try to test you. They're going to try to test the referees, on any slide tackle, any type of, physicality. They're going to be testing you and the refs. So be ready for all of that stuff that comes along with playing these type of teams.
Yeah, along those lines, no foolish red card, that causes you not only the problems in that match, but then, of course, that player misses the next round, so none of that stuff. You can't get tied up in that, as Mario was talking about, all that emotion and everything else. Just go play the game.
Gotta stay cool.
Play it as best
Don't concede early. Yes. Don't rush anything.
Long tournament too. Look, we want to win the tournament, right? I mean, here's the thing that people have to remember. I'm going to speak for Real CD España, even though I have no right to, but I'm going to say what I think is the truth. This is their final against LAFC. Now, again, they're the underdog. Not that they can't defeat LAFC in this series. Of course, we know that. They could, but it's going to be a long shot. But they can't win the tournament. I'm not trying to be rude to them. They're not going to win the tournament. LAFC could win the whole thing. So this is their final. And that's why you have to be really prepared, especially in that first leg. Because by the next leg at home, you're your third game in, you're going to be fine. Back at BMO, it's that first leg you can't trip up on and really cause. And I'll tell you, again, we'll talk about it in a few minutes. There's already been some interesting results in this tournament, certainly. So, and some games where you're like, whoa, that was a little trickier than, maybe we thought it would be, not just for MLS sides. Of course, there's, obviously sides from Central and North America in this tournament. So it's going to be interesting. There's no question about this tournament.
We all know LAFC should be the favorite, and we think LAFC should get through. But CD España, I think they're really, really going to rely on set pieces. And I want to see how LAFC do on set piece, not only just in the CONCACAF Champions in this round, but also all season in 2026. I think that's probably one of the few chances that España is going to have at getting a good look at a goal, a good chance at a goal. I don't see them getting many goals, any other way. So set pieces is going to be key in this tournament and all season long. You lock down those for LAFC and you'll be in good shape.
Yeah, I agree. Along those lines, I thought LAFC were very dangerous, obviously, on free kicks. Heung-Min goes a long way with that. Denis Bouanga, of course, free kick opportunities. You don't want to give LAFC those. I think we got to be a little bit cleaner on corner kicks offensively. I think we need more goals from there, honestly. When you have the players we have and the players' abilities to deliver balls in. Now, again, with Son, taking a lot more of that helps, certainly. And he was only there for, a handful of games towards the end of last season. So we'll see how it goes for a whole campaign. But I think they have to be more tidy there, get some more goals. I'm with you. And defensively, I think we're pretty good. At times we kind of, everybody's going to give up goals on set piece. We weren't terrible by any means on that, but, tighten it up a little bit. That always helps. And
no funny stuff in the box. Santos, let's clear those loose balls out of there. Make sure that there's nothing happening there with those.
And Marc Dos Santos was largely responsible for a lot of that, improving, as the season went on with set pieces. That was some of the things he worked on, certainly even last season for LAFC. So we'll see how that also translates with his new staff. He has his new staff in, or many new, coaches, not all, but a few new coaches. We'll see how those ideas transpire on set pieces. That's a good shout, Mario. Speaking of good shouts, Mario, you had a chance to sit down with some, obviously some key figures from LAFC. Talk a little bit about this here and lead us into this segment.
Yeah, so I was able to talk to LAFC co-president and GM John Thorington, of course, and we talked about a number of things. We talked about Son Heung-Min. We talked about a full season with Son Heung-Min and what that can unlock for LAFC. We also talked about some of the new guys like Amin Boudri, who I'm really excited about. And we talked about the season opener, which is right around the corner, Inter Miami, LAFC at the Coliseum. So here's my chat with John Thorington.
The co-president and general manager, John Thorington, of course, here. Now, first off, I always see you at your perch just outside of your office, overlooking the training sessions going on. What are your first initial thoughts so far from preseason? How are the guys looking?
Really good. I've been really impressed with the attitude, the fitness that guys had shown. They obviously took their off-season programs very seriously, which is great. So it enabled the staff to get going very quickly with what they wanted to implement. And I think what I would stress is the tweaks, which isn't like a full transformation of how we want to play, but the tweaks and the details that Mark and the staff are trying to get across to the players. You're already seeing those implemented in a very short period of time, which I think is really impressive, because typically that takes more time than it has thus far.
You do have a large core that are returning, a lot of them starting players, key players. You also sprinkled in some new players. One of those guys, the Swedish attacking midfielder, Amin Boudri. What do you see in him? I'm really excited to see him. What are you excited about?
So Amin is the type of player that LAFC supporters love. He's an entertainer. He's very tricky, dynamic. He's good 1v1. He's got an eye for goal. He's a very creative player, but he also has incredible work ethic and hunger to get better. His work against the ball for an attacking player of his age is certainly different from what you normally see from a number 10. So that's something that we identified very early. Is it's a player who has worked for everything he's got thus far in Europe, and now has deserved this move to LAFC. And I'm really excited to see him continue to incorporate with the group, and think he's a player that our supporters will love.
Another guy that I've been watching for years around MLS and with the Canadian national team, Jacob Schaffelberg. I know he could be sneaky dangerous for LAFC. What made you bring him over?
So we were looking for the right type of player to complement our attacking group, and once we realized Jacob was available, it was a very quick decision and a move to get the deal done. It is rare for me to do my diligence and ask about a player and hear unanimously how high character a guy he is, which is really important for us and what we're continuing to build here. So that was a big plus. And then also the obvious stuff that you see is his versatility, his extraordinary pace, work ethic, hunger, ambitions to go to a World Cup. So we felt the time was right to get him to LAFC, and another player we are confident will help us in our objectives this year.
Now let's talk about your new head coach, Marc Dos Santos. He moves from assistant coach to head coach. How's the group responded to that shift?
Really well. I think, that's always the analysis when you do an internal hire, is how will that transition work? And we were confident that players would respond really well to Marc in the slightly different seat, and they have. And I think a lot of that was feedback from the players last year as to what their preference. They made it very clear, almost to a man, that they wanted Marc to be the next guy. And then I also credit Marc's interpersonal skills in terms of how he relates to players, and he was never the type of assistant coach that just told people what they wanted to hear. He was very direct with them, but has the ability to do so in a way that the player knows he's doing it out of care for them. And so now it's changed, and yes, maybe a slightly different dynamic between Marc and the players, but we don't want Marc to lose that connection with the players, and I've seen that continue. And we've also brought in and kept a group and a staff that we feel like really complement each other really well.
What would you say is the biggest shift technically between Marc and what was going on last year?
Oof, good question. Yeah, I think Marc is a very detail-oriented coach. So I think, and this is not speaking negatively about anybody, but more just a specific quality about Marc, is I feel like his attention to detail and his style of communication is crystal clear as to what everybody can expect when they come into the building each day.
Now, we last year we got a glimpse of what Sonny can do. Now with the full preseason, more than a glimpse, to be honest. Now we get a full preseason, a full season. What does that unlock for this club?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think Sonny got as much credit as he was due for coming off a season and hitting the ground running as he did. He was effective literally from the first minute he stepped on the field, drew a penalty, scores all the goals, and I think one of his last kicks should have been a historic moment that then kicked us on, but fate decided otherwise. But we're really excited to just see the continued impact of Sonny with the group. We feel like we've got a really strong foundation around him, a complementary group that can get the most out of Sonny. And what we saw last year, which will be true again, is how Sonny gets the best out of the group. And the lift he provides, the building off the pitch, and the whole club, as well as the team around him on the pitch, has been special, and we're excited to see that continue.
Now, when teams in all the sports, clubs, when they get an iconic player like a Sonny, like a Otani, like a LeBron, they tend to push all the chips in and they say, let's go for this now. Do you feel like that's the sense around the club? Like now is the time?
So, yes, I would say we definitely want. I do feel like we are at a moment with the group we have and the continuity we've had that we are set up for sustainable success, which I think is the hardest thing to do in this league. And that's certainly true with Sonny, but that was true before Sonny. We whether people agree with it or not, in this building, we go for it every year, and that doesn't change whether Sonny's here, whether Sonny's not here. We go for it, and we try to win every trophy.
Now, 2026 is going to start off with a bang. You got actually a couple bangs here. We got CONCACAF, and then we got the season opener at the Coliseum against Messi, the defending champs, Inter Miami. What kind of statement can LAFC make at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, certainly we start off with a bang. I mean, we have Champions League, which is the one trophy that we have not yet won as a club. We've come close in 2 finals, but that's something that is really top of mind as a goal for us and this group. And then we have the big home opener, sort of next door home opener at the Coliseum. And just you can feel the buzz around LA when people are talking about this game. And we are really invested in making sure that we are ready to go those games. So every training session from the beginning, Mark and the staff have been really clear. We have this many training sessions, this many exhibitions to prepare for these games. And the game in Honduras, a big game. Miami, big game. Home against Real, big games. And so my job, the scouting department, our job was to make sure that the staff here have all the tools they need to be sure that we're ready to compete from day one.
Thanks for the time as always, JT, and all the best in the big 2026.
Thank you.
Yeah, he talked a lot about Amin Boudri there. Then that's somebody that I'm really excited to see play with the black and gold and link up with guys like Denis and Sonny. And you know what, Dave? You know what's really a good sign about when you get like a new player, somebody like Amin Boudri, is when you see like comments all over the internet, all over social media from fans in his home country where they're like, oh, we didn't want to see him go, or well, we wanted him to go to like a top 5, league in Europe or something like that. That makes you know that you got somebody special. You got somebody that's a really good player.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And we see that sometimes, and it is a good indication, right? When you have, well, we've had guys leave that we didn't want to have leave either. That's just the nature of the business.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes. So we felt the same way. So yeah, Amin Budri should be a very, very key part of this team. And Mario, you also had the chance to sit down with him there on the on media day there. And the latest signing, of course, just to let you know, on LAFC Plus, we wait until all the things are official. So yeah, the roster things are going on, as Mario always likes to talk about. The LAFC are always tweaking, always looking. John Thorington, a huge part of that. Just so you know, the Amin Budri, the most recent signing, if you will, but maybe not done here for LAFC before the kickoff of 2026, but he is going to be a big part of that, Mario.
Yeah, get to know Amin Budri. I think this might be one of his first interviews, if not the first interview in black and gold for Amin. So, yeah, check it out.
Nice.
LAFC's newest face right here, Amin Boudri. Welcome to the black and gold. Excited to have you here. Why would you say that this is the right next step for you coming to LAFC?
It's a really, really big club. Taking step in a good league. So for me, coming here, showing who I am, I think that's the best next step for me.
LAFC had a dynamic duo last year with Sonny and Denis. I'm looking at a possible 3-headed monster this upcoming year with you, Denis, Sonny. What type of chemistry do you hope to build with those big-time attackers here in MLS?
No, like you said, these are 2 big players, quality, a lot of quality. So for me, coming in there and just, enjoying playing with them, 100%.
For fans that don't know you much more about you and are not familiar with your game, how would you describe your style and the things that you bring to LAFC?
Okay, really passionate player. Creative, really creative. Love to take the ball, make the difference. And just confident, knowing what I'm gonna do.
I really like that make the difference line. I really like that. What are some of your personal goals? Because we all have the team goals. Of course, we want to win trophies and everything. But what's some of your personal goals here in your first year with LAFC?
Okay, that would be just coming out there, showing who I am. That's my goal.
So far, you've been here a short amount of time. I think this is like your first week here with LAFC.
Exactly.
Which one of your teammates has been the most helpful so far as like showing you around the locker room or showing you around maybe LA or around the stadium?
Okay, I think Bong is really, he's helping me a lot. He's really a nice guy.
Nice, that's good to hear. Denis clicked right away with Sonny. Now he's clicking right away with you. Just a little fun side here. Just if you weren't a footballer, what do you think you would be?
Boxing.
Boxing? You like boxing?
I love
Who's your favorite fighter?
He's not in boxing. It's I have so many. I would say it's like Khabib. I think Khabib is my favorite.
Okay.
Khabib, yeah. But he's in MMA, but still.
Yeah.
I would prefer boxing.
Yeah. So I know you're going to be busy here with LAFC, but when you do get a little bit of downtime here in LA, what's some of the things that you're looking forward to do? Maybe Laker game or, I don't know, Disneyland, something like that?
No, just enjoying the city.
Yeah.
I know what city I've come to. So yeah, just the beaches, I don't know, looking around in the city.
Yeah. Well, welcome to LA. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Best of luck in 2026.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There you go, Amin Budri, and he's getting acclimated really well, Dave. He's already played in the scrimmage. He played against San Jose the other day. Actually had an assist to Timmy Tillman in that game. So I think fans are really, really going to like Budri, and just like his flair and his exciting style, I think is going to be really likable for fans, and he's going to be a fan favorite real soon.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more. It's going to be another exciting piece. There's no doubt about it. I am really pumped to call his matches and get going with the play-by-play, no question. I'm amazed, though, as I listen to these interviews so often that you do, Mario, and, it's only me because you and many of our listeners or watchers, if you're on the YouTube or whatever, I'm an idiot. I can't. I'm always floored by how you guys, like people who have done it and learn more than one language. It's just incredible, to be honest with you.
It is.
And I know he's just coming over to the U.S. He's just getting acclimated. We have so many guys who have done that, of course, coming to LAFC, coming to MLS, whatever. But it's amazing. And I know a lot of our listeners who are out there speak more than one, two, but it reminded me of a clip, if you haven't seen it, which you probably have if you're a fan of LAFC. Go find what LAFC put out with Marc Dos Santos running one of the training sessions, right?
Oh, yeah,
and
I love that.
It's specifically that he's talking to virtually everyone on the pitch in their native language, what that they prefer to speak, let's say, their first language, because most of the players, as I said, most of the people around LAFC, unlike me, speak more than one, maybe more than two languages. But Marc Dos Santos just in and out of fluency, talking with players in 4 different languages. And just to see Amin Boudri do that, like we talked about that with Denis and how much more comfortable he's gotten so quickly, and everything, and just amazing, really. And it is part of the beautiful game. There's no doubt it's the world's game, but it's kind of cool. Yeah. And it was really cool to see that video of Marc Dos Santos doing that. Really good to hear from Amin Boudri. I love the fact that he just wants to attack too, like he's not, he makes no bones about that. Like he wants to have fun. He wants to go out there and entertain, which is, again, we're in the entertainment business, so you need that. And Mario, I think he's going to deliver. I really do.
He does have that it factor, and he does have that confidence. He has that swag about him, he has that vibe. And there's a couple players, and you know who else has that confidence and that swag is the youngster Jude Terry. Hopefully we get to see him a lot this year in 2026 for LAFC. Every time I talk to him, I'm just amazed by how much confidence he has in himself, even though he hasn't debuted for LAFC, in the black and gold to the top, the top team, but he already has that confidence. So that's pretty good to see, but now he has to back it up. So let's see, and hopefully that does happen.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm excited for that too. I will say this too. And again, it sounds like, hey, you go do this because we're LAFC Plus, but I'm keeping a close eye on LAFC too, this year as well. I always enjoy watching them, but there's some real talent who's going to be coming up, even through LAFC 2, where they're maybe getting close. Maybe they're not able to get minutes at the top team yet, with LAFC, but they're going to be big contributors at LAFC 2 with an eye on the future, certainly in the black and gold, without a doubt. And there's some really good talent there. And a few of them may be making the jump up, frankly, as Mario has said. Their time at LAFC 2 may be done. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see how it plays out.
And along those lines, Dave, I want to know, who do you think is going to be the unsung hero for LAFC this season? Who is kind of like flying under the radar right now? And I'll get started. I'll give you a little bit of time to think of yours. But for me, I think Jacob Schaffelberg is a player that I've had my eye on for a few years now, whether it's been with the Canadian national team or in MLS. I've been watching how sneaky dangerous he is, and I talked to JT a little bit about that, and he also agreed. But I think for him, he's going to slide right in, and I think he's going to get acclimated really, really quickly to this team. I just think he fits perfectly. And after talking to him, I also talked to him for a little bit a few days ago. He's excited to play at BMO Stadium, especially at nighttime. He said he hasn't played at nighttime at BMO Stadium. He hears it's even better at nighttime. And the fans, he remembers playing against those fans. He's excited to have the 32-52 on his side. And I think that's something to look forward to if you're an LAFC fan. He's going to be really fun to watch. How about you, Dave?
It's a great shout. I took it a little different direction. Okay. And it's for this 2026 season, as you outlined for us as we were kind of talking about this. Who's the unsung hero? Leave us a comment, down below if you're on YouTube and you're able to leave a comment there. If you watch it on the LAFC channel on YouTube, or, hit us up on social media for this. My unsung hero is actually, the more I thought about it, he might be the unsung hero of all LAFC history from day one. Now, not that he was with us from day one, but I mean, going all the way back, it's Eddie Segura. And it depends on how you define unsung hero in a sense. Like, he doesn't get all the accolades or anything like that. Doesn't get a lot of the publicity. Of course, he's a defender, but just his whole career, to get those injuries when he did, the way they impacted his, what seemed like was just constant straight up rise of his career at the time. And you think, oh, one is bad enough. Then two injuries like that. A lot of guys' careers done. Bottom line. I mean, I know it's a different age of medicine and everything, and people overcome a lot, but he had two big injuries like that. To do what he's done since, and just, I think he's an unsung hero, Mario. I really do. And he might be the unsung hero of all of LAFC's history, really. For all the way, maybe the number one candidate for that, realistically. And he is just getting better. Even at this, at the point of coming over these injuries, not only just getting back, but getting better as he improves and, continues to improve in his game. And still young man, and he's not even 30 yet. So, and all that experience, but having to overcome what he's done, Eddie Segura in my book, no doubt about it.
That's a good shout out, Dave. And just to have gone through what he has gone through and be so proud to be an LAFC player. He wears the crest and the shield so proudly. He loves the black and gold. Yeah, and he's always dependable too. When he's there, you can depend on Eddie to be a solid guy, to not let the attackers turn on him. He's right there. Before you turn, he's right there. He's up on you. He's on your back. You're not going to turn on Eddie Segura. So yeah, that's a good shout out. I mean, there's so many players that can be unsung heroes because there's so many talented guys on this team. I mean, another guy for me would be David Martinez, another player that I think flying under the radar with all the star power and all the talent that we have here at LAFC. For him to hopefully tap into that potential that we all see in him, that could be something special for LAFC fans. That could be a problem for the rest of MLS. That is something to look forward to. I mean, he's only 19. He's still maturing. Yeah. He's still improving as a player on the pitch, if you can even think about that. But yeah, I think David Martinez is another player that can be an unsung hero, somebody that's flying on the radar like right now.
Well, you mentioned his age. Early happy birthdays to Matthew Chouanier and David Martinez will turn both. Well, they won't turn the same age, but they'll both have a birthday coming up. If you're listening to this in a few days, it might be their birthday. February 7th is actually their birthday. So happy birthday to those fellas, including David will turn 20. It's a mere 20 years old. I can't even remember that far back. Good for him.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Has exactly. Feliz cumpleaños. Cumpleaños and a good year, let's hope. Not only a good birthday, let's hope it's a great birthday year for David at 20 years old and really starts to explode. Mario, let's go around the rest of MLS now in this show. And this won't take long. This is not a huge segment here today, but it is about the CONCACAF Champions Cup, of course, and LAFC are facing that coming up in a couple of weeks or a little less than that. But it began already for San Diego FC a couple of nights ago, and boy, did it begin in style. Mario, I thought this was a team that could have that, that sophomore slump, if you will. We've seen it in MLS. We've seen teams have that great first year. Can't quite duplicate it. Now, again, it's their first match. It's CONCACAF Champions Cup, and they have not won this series yet, by the way. There's a second game to have to be dealt with in Mexico, but to pummel Pumas the way they did, and it wasn't 90 minutes of it, honestly. Pumas got a great early goal, amazing goal to make it 1-0, and I thought, oh boy, Pumas going to settle in here, and I was a little surprised they went so defensive, did Pumas, after going up 1-0, Mario, when, I understand, like, you want to, make sure you don't open yourself up, but, road goals, too, as we talked about, even more importantly. Yeah, you got one early, but the Pumas just kind of gave them the match, and San Diego is always willing to take it. They're always willing to go after you. And in the span of 20 minutes in the second half, they get four goals and fully deserved a 4-1 victory over the Mexican side. Unbelievable performance.
Yeah, well-deserved. San Diego FC. They look like they have not stopped playing since the end of the last season. They just look like they were in form. They did not miss a beat, right? I mean, even though they conceded very early on, it was like 11th minute, I believe it was, a golazo chilena. It was awesome, amazing goal, but that didn't derail San Diego FC. Like, they just stuck to their game plan, answered back with 4 big goals against a very good Pumas team, and just what a performance, I mean, from that squad, and also individually by Luca Bombino, right? I mean, the former LAFC product, he had a really good game. Santa Monica's own California kid right there. So it's always good to see him continue to grow and develop into a player that has been getting looks from other teams from around the world as well. And I know that he's a hard worker. We've seen him with LAFC too, with the academy, stuff like that. So, that was an awesome performance from the whole team and Bombino. And I could see Bombino maybe getting some looks with the U.S. men's national team at some point in the future. Absolutely. I know he's played for the under 17s, under 19s, under 20s. So, like, if he can get to the men's national team, that would be great to see for that kid, because that guy, he could play ball and he sends in some great crosses, a great defensively, he's awesome. So what a performance to do that against Pumas, who's a strong Mexican team too. And now they head back to Mexico City for the second leg with a pretty good, comfortable 4-1 lead on Pumas.
Anybody who's watched more than about 5 minutes of the Champions Cup, though, would want to tell San Diego, pump the brakes here. Let's, let's make sure you go down there and get the job done, because anything can happen. As crazy as it sounds, it's only 4-1, and we've seen it time and time again in Champions Cup. You got to stick. Like, I call any Liga MX side that's in the Champions Cup, it's like you're going up against Dracula. You got to stick that stake through their heart. Like, they're not dead until the referee blows that final whistle. Like, they will. It doesn't matter what the scoreline is. Like, Pumas knows they got to come out firing, right? I mean, they're in the deep hole. They were terrible.
San Diego might hope they got 5 in that first game, because it's going to be an uphill climb for 90 grueling minutes in Mexico City. So it's going to be tough. Yeah.
It doesn't matter if San Diego scores first down there early or whatever. Like, Pumas is more than capable, and we've seen it time and time again. And I know San Diego knows this, but anybody who's kind of new to Champions Cup as well, if you're just kind of getting into that, of course, with LAFC involved and have done so well, as you heard John Thorington talk about earlier in the interview with Mario, a couple of finals that we made, haven't quite got over that hump yet. This competition, you just better play till the last whistle against the Liga MX. Against anybody, certainly, but man, they don't. We know that. We know that from the Mexican
And LAFC have it tough too. LAFC have it tough because there's no bye in the first week for LAFC. LAFC, you're jumping in at the very, very beginning, and it's going to be a long way to that final if they're going to make it to that final. And there's some tough teams ahead. So, get ready for it.
We talk about a lot. If you win Champions Cup, you've earned it. Like, there is no cheating your way in terms of just easy ride or anything like that. I don't mean cheating or anything, but I mean, there's no easy ride to winning CONCACAF Champions Cup. If you, in this format, if you win it, you tip your cap, man. You fully earned it, no doubt. One of the teams going after it, of course, is Inter Miami. We haven't, we talked, of course, a lot about Inter Miami since the offseason, but again, here they go. They get Amin Budri from Monterrey with a massive transfer. Mario, this one scares me. This one scares me a lot. Now, of course, they've done some good business in this offseason, but they lost a lot too. People keep saying, how is Inter Miami, how are they signing these players? And well, they lost Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba, two DPs at huge contracts, like two designated player spots become available because of that. The contract, the money, the salary cap. They lost those players. That's not insignificant. Now, they've done a good job replacing, well, as best you could, maybe replacing them. You can't equal them necessarily. But then they go out and do this in a spot I thought they were a little weak in, believe it or not. Luis Suarez can play. Make no mistake. But I mean, in terms of depth, and he's getting older, he's not a young man anymore. And certainly he's capable, but I don't know if he's going to be a 90-minute player week in and week out, and then CONCACAF Champions Cup and all these competitions. Getting Budri, this guy is going to score in buckets playing with Lionel Messi and Inter Miami more. I mean, there's no way around that. He's going to score.
He is a goal scorer. He's going to get a ton of goals. And it's funny because I saw an interview where he said that he wanted to stay in Monterrey. He had no plans of going anywhere. And he had kind of joked about it whenever they were asking him, like, his future. And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here unless Messi comes knocking on my door. And then what do you know? Inter Miami comes knocking on his door.
Yeah.
And he is gone.
Was a man of his word.
Miami. How could you refuse to play with Messi? I mean, if Messi comes out, you're going to play with the GOAT. You're going to – it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, they're building a super team. No question about it. He just fits right in there. And anybody who thinks, that's not a good signing, well, nobody thinks that. You just can't. It's a great signing, unfortunately, for the rest of MLS, frankly, and the rest of Champions Cup, apparently now, as he's obviously joining Inter Miami for that competition. A move that's not in the Champions Cup level because neither of these teams are at that level, but Cole Bassett, Mario, moving from the midfield of the Rapids in a cash transfer for some pretty good clip there for Portland Timbers. I think this is an interesting move for the Timbers. I've always liked Cole Bassett, and I don't know why necessarily Colorado felt the need to, move on from him, but whatever. That's just the way it goes. But I think it's a good pickup for Portland.
Yeah, I think Portland, it's more on the Portland Timbers side where they wanted to get Cole Bassett because it is a good pickup. Yeah. And I think it's more of the Timbers saying that we want to put a good product out there for our fans, and we want to go out there and win. We want to get some wins this season. So I think it's more about the Timbers getting Cole Bassett than it is the Rapids moving away from him, because the Timbers have a pretty good squad. I seen them a couple weeks ago in a scrimmage versus LAFC at a closed door scrimmage at BMO Stadium, and they have a strong team, some big guys on that Timbers team, and some really talented players. So he's only going to add to that. So watch out for Timbers this year. It'll be interested to see what they can do in the West.
Well, great stuff. As always, that's going to do it, boy. Some great interviews today, Mario, with the John Thorington interview and, of course, the newest player, Amin Budri, the signing there. Great stuff there. Some great questions, great answers there from both of them. This is episode 88 in the books now for LAFC Plus. We are getting closer. The next time we talk to you is in a couple of weeks. Okay. We'll have already played in the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Next episode is when, Dave?
February 19th. We'll have already played in the Champions Cup. We'll have our MLS preview. Of course, we'll preview the LAFC season and get you ready for the opener of MLS, which would be a couple of days after that. So the 19th is our next episode. Hopefully we'll have a big win from Honduras under our belt already. but we'll wrap that up as well. Mario, take us out of here, man. Great stuff as always.
I can't wait for the next episode already. I mean, we'll be wrapping up that first game, and then we're also looking ahead to the game versus Messi at the Coliseum. How exciting is that going to be? We're going to be just a couple days away from that. So, yeah, it's going to be a big 2026, Dave. I'm just super pumped. That's Dave Denholm. I'm Mario Ruiz. We'll catch you on the very next episode of LAFC Plus. Can't wait. Peace.